We are alive at 9:30. We live right now. Y'all know what it is, 9:30. February 15th. Hope y'all had a good Valentine's Day. Hope you got everything you needed. Hope you got that special attention you was hoping for or paid for. Or whatever. Whichever way. Anyway, what's good with y'all? Y'all know what it is, man. Talking Shit Show, episode 51. It's been a crazy week, man. It's been a crazy week, man. Crazy. I'm gonna wait till my folks get in here, man, to get to this little main topic, but I'm gonna start some things off with y'all. I'm gonna start some stuff off with y'all. First of all, let's check a little bit about this. Let's go ahead and look at a little bit about this shooting, man. Get a little bit more info on this. Y'all, as everybody knows,
I'm Kevin Roach.
There was a shooting at MSU, Michigan State, a couple days ago. Rest in peace to all the people that lost their lives, and to the families, condolences. But everything from what I know is that this person, we're going to see now. We're going to see. But this person wasn't even, had no affiliation with the school is what I'm hearing. This is weird, bro. What? How you just come in firing up? I don't understand that. So let's get into this, man. In the motive and all that. And nothing, you can't ask him because he's dead. So this is nuts.
My God.
Chaos as Michigan State students run for their lives.
You want to get something in front of the door?
A mass shooter is stalking the campus, and emergency social media blasts tell thousands of students to run, hide, fight. The drama began at 8:35 p.m. at Berkey Hall, where students were attending evening classes.
Have an active shooter at Berkey Hall and MSU's campus.
As police flooded the ground, surveillance cameras caught the gunman striding toward his next target, the Students' Union, less than a half a mile away.
Sounds like the shooter is currently in the Union building.
He was stalking the campus in a baseball cap, mask, denim shirt, and those distinctive red sneakers. This surveillance photo shows him in a stairwell drawing his gun.
We all were like, yeah, we're not willing to die here, so we need to find a place that's going to make us feel safe.
You can see graduate student Graham Diedrich and others barricading themselves inside the library. How'd you know what to do in that situation?
As Americans, we're taught in our schools to barricade ourselves in, we're taught from a young age, at school there's a possibility that someone's going to come here and kill you. Just moving those tables and those shelves into those locations, it was just kind of second nature, something just clicked.
This Michigan State student, Shannon Watts, was wounded in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting 10 years ago in Connecticut.
The fact that this is the second mass shooting that I have now lived through is incomprehensible.
The search went on for 3 hours. Police distributed this photo showing the wanted man.
It was a caller's tip that led law enforcement to that suspect.
Finally, at 11:35, when police cornered him in Lansing, he shot himself. He was identified today as 43-year-old Anthony Dwayne McCrae. Police confirmed a note was found on his body. We're also learning about the 3 students who were killed. 19-year-old Ariel Diamond Anderson. She had her own YouTube channel. The sophomore is beloved for her compassion and love of children. She dreamed of becoming a pediatrician. 20-year-old Alexandria Werner was a biology and anthropology major. Alex was a standout basketball player in high school, number 24. She is remembered as a terrific student and leader who personified kindness. 20-year-old Brian Frazier was a sophomore studying business. He played lacrosse and worked as a lifeguard. His family described him as the light of their lives.
Didn't get a lot of sleep last night, sorry.
Dr. Denny Martin, who worked with a trauma team on wounded victims, was overcome with emotion at a press conference. And Michigan Congresswoman Elisa Slotkin expressed fury.
And I am filled with rage that we have to have another press conference to talk about our children being killed in their schools.
Oh my God.
Wow.
What do you want?
Wow.
This is a breaking news alert.
We mourn the loss of beautiful souls today and pray for those who are continuing to fight for their lives.
A stampede of people came from the front of the building. A lot of people were crying and calling and stuff, and everyone was worried that their phone batteries were going to die down there.
Can't forget we had general surgeons, cardiothoracic surgeons, neurosurgeons. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night, sorry. So many people that just came in.
Emotions overflowing. 3 lives lost at Michigan State. 5 more still battling to survive in the hospital right now. And we are learning new information about the gunman responsible. Thank you for joining us. Our continuing coverage here on News 8 at noon. I'm Emily Leonard.
And I'm Tom Hillen. We have multiple reporters working to break new information on this investigation right now. Let's get straight to the new developments we've learned in the past few hours.
All right,
We know that all 8 victims
facts.
are Michigan State students. 3 died last night. 5 remain hospitalized in critical condition. We're told their names will be released later today.
The suspect is 43-year-old Anthony McRae. He has a criminal record, but no known connection to Michigan State.
Classes at Michigan State have been
Like I
canceled
thought,
for
no
the
connection
remainder
to
of the
Michigan
week.
State. No connection to the
We have
school.
team coverage for you this afternoon. Joe LaFurgey will bring us reaction from the governor. Susan Shaw will bring a student and parent reaction. And Brittany Flowers and Byron Tollefson are live for us.
Let's get first to Brittany, who has new information about the suspect.
Yeah, so we are out front of the Union right now. This is the second building that Anthony McRae walked into and started shooting tragically last night. As you mentioned, police say he has no ties to MSU. They have essentially zero idea of what his motive could have been. We do know that McRae had 3 convictions in Michigan. The most serious was in 2019. He pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor weapons charge. Now, McRae's father
So he
spoke
wasn't even
with
supposed to have
NBC
it.
News earlier today, saying he learned of the shooting when a swarm of FBI and police officers arrived at his house last night. He stated his son had no history of violence, but that he struggled to cope with his mother's death in 2020. His father said, quote, he was grieving his mom. He wouldn't let it go. He got bitter and bitter and bitter. His mom died, and he just started getting evil and mean. He didn't care about anything anymore. Police searched for more than 3 hours before finding McRae, saying it was thanks to a caller tip that came in just minutes after they released the surveillance photo of him along with a description.
We would like to sincerely thank our community for their help. Because of our quick release of the photograph from the campus security cameras and the help from our community, it was a caller's tip that led law enforcement to that suspect in the city of Lansing. Part of our investigation today is to look at the suspect, his background, his history. Those are things that are occurring with our state and federal partners.
Yeah, and there are several crime scenes that police will have to comb through as they continue their investigation. In addition to Berkey and the MSU Union, there was also a house where they conducted a search warrant that's connected to that suspect. In addition to another crime scene in Lansing that was approximately 5 miles from campus, where the shooter was confronted by police before he took his own life. Still waiting for more details from police as to what transpired up to that point. For now, live in East Lansing, I'm Brittany Flowers, News 8.
All right, Brittany Flowers, thank you for that. Some new details just emerging from New Jersey on this story. The Ewing, New Jersey Police Department says that police found a note in McRae's pocket last night that contained threats against 2 Ewing public schools. Police say that McRae had connections to that area. The schools were closed today. It's no longer believed that there is any further threat and that schools plan to reopen tomorrow.
Our team coverage continues now with Byron Tollefson.
Byron, what do we know about the victims right now?
We're focused now on the 5 Michigan State University students who remain in critical condition here at Sparrow Hospital in downtown Lansing. But we're also now learning the names of one of the 3 victims who died. WXYZ in Detroit is reporting that one of the victims who died is Alexandria Verner. She is a 2020 grad of Clawson High School in Metro Detroit. No other names have been released just yet. 4 of the 5 students currently in the hospital here at Sparrow required surgery. And this morning we got an update from doctors at Sparrow Health.
4 of those individuals did require surgical intervention to treat their injuries. 1 individual did not and was taken to the critical care unit after being triaged in the emergency department. All 5 individuals remained in critical condition this morning. I want to thank the overwhelming response from our team. Everyone in our level 1 trauma center. This is something we talked about this morning that we practice for very often, but never want to have to do.
Wake up.
Investigators tell us they hope to release the names of the victims later today. We will continue to stay in touch with doctors here at Sparrow and bring you the latest as soon as we learn that information. Back to you.
We're hearing from students who were on campus and parents who tried to get answers during the tragedy.
Yeah, Susan Shaw joins us now with more.
Tom and Emily, this afternoon, parents continue to arrive in East Lansing to take students back home. Right now, only essential staff is on campus. And this morning, we spoke with students and parents who said they're grateful to be together with their kids again after such a horrific event.
Going home with our kid, and that's pretty unbelievable thought, because I know that there are people who are not tonight, and that's terribly sad for people. So we're grateful that we're in this situation, and roommates and friends are all safe, and it's just kind of surreal.
While campus activities have been canceled until Monday morning, MSU's president, Teresa Woodruff, says that other campus activities can resume after a 48-hour period passes. Emily?
Sue, thank you. We're also hearing Michigan lawmakers respond to the deadly shooting.
News 8's Joe LaFurci joins us now in studio with what the governor had to say this morning.
Tom and Emily, Governor Whitmer spoke this morning, which is the 5-year anniversary of the Parkland shooting. The governor, who is an MSU alum, said this is, quote, a uniquely American problem, and the time is now to take action to prevent another mass shooting like the one last night from happening again in our state.
I want to thank the incredible medical professionals at Sparrow who are working hard to care for those injured, as well as all the community members that shared tips so that our law enforcement could act. We mourn the loss of beautiful souls today and pray for those who are continuing to fight for their lives. Every Spartan student, parent, and staff member should know that Michiganders and Americans everywhere are thinking of you today. President Biden and I spoke last night. He pledged his support and the thoughts of an entire nation. And we will work together to do what is necessary to help MSU community heal. We're all broken by an all too familiar feeling. Another place that is supposed to be about community and togetherness, shattered by bullets and bloodshed. We know this is a uniquely American problem. Today is the 5th anniversary of the Parkland shooting. 4 weeks past the Lunar New Year shooting at a dance hall, and a few months past a shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde. And looking back at a year marked by shootings at grocery stores, parades, and so many other ordinary, everyday situations, we cannot keep living like this. Our children are scared to go to school. People feel unsafe in their houses of worship or local stores. Too many of us scan rooms for exits when we enter them. And many of us have gone through the grim exercise of figuring out who our last call would be to. Last night, a lot of kids on this campus made those calls. They worried for their lives and for their friends, for their fellow Spartans. Parents across Michigan were on pins and needles, calling their kids to tell them that they love them. As parents, we tell our kids, it's going to be okay. We say that all the time. But the truth is, words are not good enough. We must act, and we will. But today, let's hold the MSU and East Lansing communities close. And let's think of the families and friends of those who have lost, those fighting for their lives, and the countless Michiganders whose lives are forever changed by yesterday's shooting. We will get through this together.
Governor Whitmer is also ordering all U.S. and Michigan flags in the state capitol complex and on all public buildings and grounds across the state be lowered to half-staff to 100.
Joe LaFergie, thank you. As the community mourns, we know of at least one vigil planned for tonight in East Lansing.
Yeah, Eastminster Presbyterian Church on Abbott Road will hold a prayer vigil at 7 p.m. The vigil is open to the public.
We continue to have crews in East Lansing following the latest developments. Coming up at 12:30, Attorney General Dana Nessel, who had children on campus last night, will join us. And we'll have team coverage later today, starting on News 8 at 4.
Wow. So, condolences to everybody who, the 3 victims that lost their life, and the people that's in the ICU right now. We pray for a speedy recovery for y'all. I don't even understand where to begin with this subject. I'll just state my opinion on the fact, on what's going on. Like, I really don't know if, well, I do. Let's start here. There's a lot of mental illness, not just in our community, just period. And I believe a lot of it comes from the gratification or the like, people seek gratification from, social media and just outside sources, people, just from everybody else, instead of just being them and just, kind of like dude's father said, like, just let go, like, and we see that he was dealing or struggling with the death of his mother. Like his father said, he wouldn't let it go. He got bitter and bitter and evil. When we see things like that in our family, we need to, like, comfort them. We need to honestly pull them aside. If they need help, we need to get them help. We have to do what we can. We have to do everything we can for our families and for our loved ones to ensure, mental, like I said, mental stability, mental health, ensure that they're okay. Just period. Like, you never know, man. Somebody could have called him that day and said, "Hey, man, what you up to?" "Chilling, man. Hey, look, bro, I love you, man. Hey," you know what I'm saying? And just talk to him, you know what I mean? Just express that. Like, sometimes people need the real gratification, not the fake shit that people strive for, or people, look for in outside sources, social media and peers and things like that, and community and things like that. Like, sometimes we need to know people love us. We need to know that somebody cares about what's going on, you know what I'm saying, and how we feel. I think that's a major issue in society today, and only reason, and I believe there's a lot to contribute to it. Not only, I can go down this rabbit hole for hours, but not only do I think or believe that it's a lot of the food that we're consuming, lack of sleep that people get, prescription medications, side effects to things like that they don't tell you about. things that affect your mental, that, things can affect your mental as well as your physical. Um, the whole idea and the whole like ordeal that the whole country just went through, the whole world just went through with COVID. I mean, whether it was population control, a plot, whether it was whatever it was, you know what I mean? It took a toll on us mentally. We were locked in the house. Anytime you take people, animals, anything, and just, constantly treat them like they don't, when they feel caged in, like cabin fever, when they feel like they can't move, they feel like you know, they're constricted. It plays a part on your mental. That's why in jail they have solitary confinement. It's just four walls of concrete and a metal door. You know what I mean? Anybody that has been in solitary confinement, which is a smaller space, than a house and stuff like that, can let you know and can tell you that being in spaces like that or being locked down or being constricted plays hella games on your mental. Like, it will fuck your head up. Seriously. So we all kind of just went through a touch of that, man. And some people are already unstable and they're not handling that right. And they're not handling that correctly, or they're not handling it, or not getting the proper help that they need to handle it if they don't know how to handle it. So that's kind of all I got to say about that. Like I said, condolences, man, and long live the three people, the three students. Rest in peace. I kind of don't like to say rest in peace. We're gonna say long live. Long live the three students, who lost their lives. May they forever be remembered by their peers and the world, especially in that area. I hope they do something as far as put something in place, because I mean, even during that clip we just seen, I thought the governor was gonna say, what they were doing, not just words and all, just action. We need action. Yeah, like no shit, like tell us what you're gonna do. Like, I really thought that we was gonna get a solution for that, but it's like normal politics. We don't get a solution for that. Well, not right away anyway. But and I believe that's because they don't have one, right now. It takes time to think these things up, so I'm not gonna just dog them like that. But yeah, man, that's crazy, and that's just how I feel about that, man. Moving on. Let's see here. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with a lot of, we don't get too political on here, but there's something that we want to point out, that I want to point out to you. And y'all already know we love the Young Turks here at TYT. We support them. Shouts out to them for covering these kind of things, because these aren't being covered. And if you guys listen to the State of the Union, like I said, we try not to get too political. If you guys listen to the State of the Union this past week, Biden kind of got straight to it, and he told you that there were Republicans trying to, they wrote up some kind of bill, they wrote up some stuff and was proposing, to basically take all of the benefits, all of the assistance, all of the aid, like a lot of the stuff away, and then they're trying to hide it, but that's essentially what the bill had and what the bill was written up to do, and they caught it. And like I said, I'm not for either side, but they caught it and exposed it. I mean, I don't jump on either side's bandwagon or jump on either side. I ain't meat riding no side. because I'm a free thinker. I believe I'm independent. And that's just how that lay, man. But let's check this out, man, because these things are happening right in front of our eyes, and they're happening under our nose. And we have to be aware of this shit. So check it out.
Republicans are trying to pass a bill that would place insane restrictions on the state's SNAP or Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits, because of course they are, making it harder to qualify for food assistance and limiting what foods they can buy. The bill also, of course, targets Medicaid. Wait till you hear the details of this heartless BS.
I bet it won't be
Nearly 40 House Republicans have co-sponsored the bill, led by House Speaker Pat Grassley, one that would limit SNAP food purchases, formerly known as food stamps, to only what is on the state's approved WIC list, a supplemental nutritional aid for women, infants, and children, which, by the way, is a very outdated list that people say does not keep up with modern times, modern pricing, modern needs at all. Some of the proposed restrictions in this new bill would mean that low-income, older, and disabled Iowans who rely on SNAP benefits would not be able to purchase, frivolous items like fresh meat, white bread, or sliced cheese. The bill dictates people can only purchase 100% whole wheat bread, brown rice, and 100% whole wheat pasta. No white grains are allowed. Also on the do not buy list are baked, refried, or chili beans. Instead, recipients must purchase black, red, and pinto beans. Cooking oil, spices, and salt and pepper would have to be crossed off the shopping list as well, along with soup and canned vegetables and fruit. Fresh meats are off the table. They don't got the meats, as Iowans would only be able to purchase canned products like canned tuna or salmon. Sliced, cubed, crumbled, and American cheese would also be eliminated from SNAP food purchases. Iowans on SNAP would not be able to buy meat, flour, butter, cooking oil, frozen prepared food, said Luke Elzinga, chair of the Iowa Hunger Coalition. It's a huge list. Actually, it's quicker to list what Iowans would still be able to buy with their SNAP benefits. Elzinga cautioned that if passed, this bill would be devastating for SNAP recipients. When I was running for office, I spent a lot of time in Iowa. I went to the Iowa Hunger Coalition event, and they were in great need well before this. For so many Iowans who are food insecure, who are hungry, who cannot afford the basic necessities, you think, oh, these people, they're superfluous. They're trying to stay on extra delicious foods. No, they just want to be able to provide for their family a decent meal that their children are able to enjoy somewhat while trying desperately to make ends meet. That's the reality of the situation. I don't think the 39 co-sponsors of this bill know just how restrictive it is and that it would ban meat, he said. Under this bill, no ground beef, no chicken, no pork in the state of Iowa, according to Elzinga. I just can't believe that they knew that's what it was when the bill was introduced. I believe it, because they just do not care about people struggling financially. Not at all. The Iowa House Republicans just think the money could be better spent funding what they call more important priorities. More important to them, of course, more important than the basic needs for survival. Quote, it's these entitlement programs. They're the ones that are growing within the budget and are putting pressure on us being able to fund other priorities, said Speaker Pat Grassley. The bill also proposes limiting SNAP recipients' assets to the federal guidelines, which means families would not be allowed to even use the program if they had more than $2,750 on hand for an emergency, or $4,250 if they've got somebody with a disability or over the age of 60 in their family. It also exempts just one vehicle, which would potentially exclude families with 2 cars, which, newsflash, you might need 2 cars when you're each working 3 jobs, which is like 6 jobs, and you have to get to those places. But why would you need to get to your jobs that you'd need to be able to try to pay for food that you can't afford and you're not even allowed to now get assistance with, according to these heartless people? Quote, they also discourage people from applying for SNAP even when they are eligible, Elzinga said. They really discourage households from saving for emergencies because you can't really have an emergency savings account past a certain value or you'd be kicked off the program. And lastly, Iowa is not an outlier when it comes to food insecurity in this nation. The GOP, of course, is also targeting SNAP on a national level. If the SNAP budget gets slashed, millions of Americans could face greater food insecurity. More than 41 million people Nearly 22 million households received SNAP benefits totaling close to $96 billion in fiscal year 2022, according to the Department of Agriculture. This is disgusting. I've already said my piece on it. Cenk, I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, well, look, I got to disagree with you, Ben. I think that these guys are living high on the hog on white bread and sliced cheese and ground beef.
How dare they?
I mean, come on, chili beans.
Welcome to your
beans for you, okay? None of that fancy chili beans around here. So guys, when you make distinction between white bread and wheat bread, why can't you get sliced cheese? What's wrong with sliced cheese? You can't get canned fruit and canned vegetables. Maybe the only thing you can get is canned high fructose corn syrup. And maybe part of the restrictions is to help some like agriculture industry, food donors or something. Who knows? Who knows? Somebody's making a buck off of it, probably in a different direction as well. But mainly the idea here is it's punitive. These are not real distinctions. It's like if you say, hey, you know what? No steak, no lobster. Okay, I'm not going to nitpick people's eating habits, so I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. But I get it. Oh, okay, you don't want them high. No champagne. Okay, I get it, right? But no white bread, no cheese. No, you're saying I want to punish you. Oh, you're poor. You want to hand up. And we talked on this show. We have people who worked here who got assistance before, and you know what happened? It was a hand up, and then their family made it, and then by the way they hired other people, et cetera, right? That it's used by 40 million Americans, right? And so, but Republicans think these people, in their darkest time when they need a little bit of help, we should insult them. We should make sure that they suffer a little bit more. And then have them, we're gonna nitpick their food choices. By the way, this is from the party that's in favor of freedom. No, don't have that. You have this, don't have that. Don't have this, don't have that. I'm for freedom. Freedom my ass. Now, but again, Ben, to be fair, counterpoint, they had these same exact restrictions on the bankers when we gave them trillions of dollars.
That's true. I remember it said we're going to bail out your banks, but as long as you don't no longer eat jelly beans or tasty meats.
Yeah, I think the Nutty Buddies were out.
Nutty Buddies were out.
Okay, Frosted Flakes gone.
Yep.
Okay, trillions we gave to the bankers. Trillions. We didn't even put in a restriction that they're not allowed to get giant bonuses of the companies they bankrupted.
Nor did we yet again ever even think of the little guy first during that mortgage crisis. We could have easily, I wrote about this at the time, we could have easily given all of those payments to the mortgage holders and required they use those trillions to pay their mortgages, and it would go straight to the banks after also helping keep people in their homes. Government didn't think of that. Let's just help the institutions, just help the banks, let the individual people fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
Never mind, we're a country made of people. And if they're trying to claim, oh, we want them to eat healthier food, that's also BS, because healthier food is more expensive. And so you're just restricting the amount of food they can have. And also, the amount of money they allocate is what's already restricting it. No one's staying on this program because they're eating high on the hog, even if they're getting white bread, because it's a very small amount of money. You can still barely get the food. So sometimes you can get just more food of unhealthier things to try to get by. Maybe it's not the time for you to level up and go vegan while you're struggling to put food on the table.
Okay, by the way, so this is, they can't live high on the hog because they can't even buy the hog. It's not on the list. So listen, guys.
To ban pork in Iowa is especially cruel.
Yes. All right, so look, this one is not about Republican voters. Now, no one disrespects Republican voters in this country more than I do. I think I've proven it amply in story after story. Well, the rest of the media pampers them, babies them. Oh, they're so special, they're the real Americans. Oh, some of the Republican politicians question, no, they're the ones who put them in charge, okay? So I got no love for Republican voters. But on this one, no, you guys are getting screwed too, okay? This one's just the Republican politicians. So, for example, yeah, the whole food stamp thing, etc. It started as a racial thing. It was like coded words. And by the way, people like Lee Atwater and other Republicans have said, oh yeah, the whole thing was designed to be racist. You couldn't say the N-word anymore, but you would say, those welfare queens, right? And people wouldn't know what you're talking about, etc. But at this point, and by the way, back then too, yeah, that's the politics that drove it, but a lot more white people are on food stamps than black people. So the result is not racial. The result punishes white people more, right? Maybe disproportionately black because of the socioeconomic conditions, et cetera, but a lot more actual white people get this thing. And by the way, this is not, again, this one is not as racial in its implementation because this is meant to punish the poor. This is more class one, right? So if you're rich and you're a banker and you destroy the global economy, you're gonna have almost no restrictions. They're gonna give you literally billions of times more money than this, and they're not gonna put any restrictions on it. You get a tiny, tiny amount of money from the government, white, black, brown, it doesn't matter. They're gonna put every restriction. Don't eat that, don't eat that, you goddamn poor people. Because Republican politicians hate poor people. They're in the hate business, right? So they're like, well, we hate the trans people, we hate the LGBTQ overall, don't say anything about gay, we hate the critical race theory, the race, but poor people, white, black, it doesn't matter, they despise you because they work for the rich. And last thing, Ben, for me, famous last words. Anyways, in Kansas, they also had stuff like this, and they said, we can't afford it, we can't afford the white bread, right? And then they nearly bankrupted the state because of the tax cuts they passed for the rich. And it got so bad in Kansas, they elected a Democratic governor.
Right, and so the only good news here is that this is just a bill currently. It is not passed, and so anyone in Iowa watching this who is one of the 250,000 Iowans who rely on this program, or any of the millions who care about those people, Republican or Democrat, make sure you fight against House File 3 or HF3 and make sure it does not pass, and show these Republicans that some people still care about others in this country and in the great state of Iowa.
Wow. So, like I said, I had already kind of heard about this. They're trying to be slick, man. If y'all notice, regular price of stuff went up. Eggs went up, milk went up, all this stuff went up. So they're trying to be slick. So, I mean, you got a couple of options. Learn how to grow your own food, fruits and vegetables and all that kind of stuff. Find you a good place to get some meats. Learn you some recipes. Stop eating all this shit out the box, because that's what they're really trying to give you. Like he said, they'll give you a can of high fructose syrup, you know what I'm saying, but they won't give you no fresh meat. So, you know, it is what it is, man. If y'all in Iowa, like he said, HF3, make sure y'all fight for that shit, man. All right, moving on to the next one.
A Houston mother is demanding answers tonight after she says her 6-year-old son was repeatedly sexually assaulted while riding the school bus. An investigation is underway right now in Aldine ISD. ABC 13's Maya Shea joins us live with these serious allegations, Maya.
This is sad as fuck.
Yeah, these allegations are so disturbing, and the mother says she believes it's gone on for several months, but it wasn't until her son lost his backpack last week and she called here at the transportation department to get to the bottom of this missing backpack that everything came out into the open. LaToya Stormy Monroe is devastated. She says she had no idea that her 6-year-old son was being sexually assaulted on the school bus.
I feel like as a parent, I failed my child. It hurts. I didn't protect him. I don't know what to do.
Monroe was joined by community activists today in front of the Aldine bus barn to discuss what they believe happened, that over the past several months, an older child would repeatedly molest and sexually assault Monroe's son on the bus, and that the bus driver didn't notice.
According to the investigator, the bus driver stopped the bus because she thought they were fighting on the back of the bus, but this mother's child was fighting because he was being raped.
Monroe says everything came to light last Tuesday when efforts to track down her son's missing backpack led school officials to look at surveillance video on the bus. Then she got a call.
I get to the school and I find out that my son was sexually assaulted days of questioning, days of talking to my child, the details became more and more graphic each and every time.
Since then, her son has been treated at the hospital and they've spoken to investigators. In a statement, the district says in part, an investigation by Aldine ISD police and district officials immediately began on Wednesday, February 1st.
Man,
CPS was
babies,
notified.
man.
Once the investigation has concluded, appropriate action will be taken based on investigation findings. Meanwhile, Monroe
Please
says
take care
her
of y'all
son doesn't
babies.
even fully understand what happened.
He's not really at his age understanding the magnitude. He actually really stated that why couldn't this kid be given a second chance? If God gives second chances, why couldn't the perpetrator?
Monroe says she hopes her speaking out today will get her answers and justice for her son.
Nah.
So, you know what happens when bans against...
That is totally. Oh my God. That's totally fucking disturbing. Please take care of your babies. Have them conversations with them. Let them know they need to be vocal, extra vocal. Let them know, teach them how to defend themselves. Oh my God, there's so many angles here. And then at the same time, like, what can you do? Like, you're not there. Like, how she feels. Like, nobody knows how she feels exactly, but I could just see it on her face that, like she said, she feel like she let her child down, and she looked like, you know, a smart, you know, young black woman. She don't look like somebody who's just sending him the bus out here bullshitting. She seems like she probably needs to send him on the bus because she works to provide for her family. So this shit really crazy, man. And this shit really, like, pisses me off to have to even speak on this, or for this to even be a topic. Like, this shit is disgusting, and I don't understand how, as a bus driver, you're not cognizant of what's going on your bus. You're that lazy to not get up, go back and see what is going on, and then the first time you see some weird stuff, automatically separate, call it in, call the parents, call the authorities. Like, you gotta take better action as an adult, and you have other people's kids in, you know, your possession. You gotta do better. I believe she should be charged too. Also, I'm not even bullshitting. Like, that's just me. That's how I feel. Hey, this talking shit. This is my show. This is our show. This is what we do. This is for y'all. But this how I feel. And if y'all was here, it'd be how y'all feel. I feel like that bus driver need to be charged too. Off top. So moving on. I'm done talking about that shit. Moving on. I guess we got a story here out of Alabama. This is more things. I just read about this kind of thing earlier. Well, I just actually not read about it. I seen it on social media. Like the Sisters of Confederacy or something like that. Things that they do, and the whole way they try to, the things that we've been taught, and how they tried to not necessarily brainwash, but they tried to, censor and leave out certain parts of history, and they try to, like, cover it up and try to say, like, the Civil War wasn't over slavery and shit like that, which everybody knows that it was. They were trying to say about it, it's over states' freedom and everything like that, but we all know what it really was about. So this story right here is coming out of Alabama, and some students is mad. Let's check it out.
Black history occurred during Black History Month.
Because we woke, we know what the fuck be going on.
Confusion over what exactly can be discussed, along
We
with genuine
cognizant.
anger
We know
and
what's cracking.
outrage over historical erasure. This week, nearly 300 Alabama high school students walked out of class after what they describe as racism and censorship of a Black history program. Alabama News also reports that students of Hillcrest High School, where 55% of students are Black, were told to focus more on current Black history rather than old stuff before 1970. Because, cue the dripping sarcasm, nothing noteworthy about Black people occurred before 1970. Not slavery or the Civil War, integration, and civil rights. None of that old stuff. School officials have denied the claim, leaving the question, so why did the students walk out?
Of course they're going to deny it.
And then in Florida, otherwise known as America's sunshiniest laboratory of fascism and autocracy, the rejection of an AP African American Studies class has reached a boiling point. We are learning that the DeSantis camp complained for months about the course, while the College Board, a nonprofit organization that oversees the AP program, continues to insist that Florida's concerns did not influence any of the course revisions. Joining me now is Christina Greer, political scientist and host of The Blackest Questions, a podcast by the Griot, which is probably illegal to listen to in the state of Florida. Has the word black in it. Can't it gonna make people upset? Christina, what do you, as an educator yourself, as a scholar of history and of Black history, do you make of this idea that an Alabama high school would tell high school students that they must not talk about Black history that occurs before 1970? I mean, you'd miss a lot of stuff, including the civil rights movement.
You know, Joy, we joke about the Blackest Questions, but, you know, as I say on the podcast, to understand Black history is to understand American history. And if you don't know Black history, you don't know American history. There is no way that you can detangle the contributions and the struggles and the triumphs of Black people in this nation from its inception, as Nicole Hannah-Jones has so brilliantly laid out for all of us. And so, yes, we can, why don't we just start at 1970, okay? We can take someone like Ruby Bridges, who isn't even 70 years old.
Right.
We can still have so much of the civil rights movement in conversations from the beginning, but we know that so much of Ron DeSantis and his ilk, because it's not just him, he's the face of it, but there's so many other governors who are tacitly in agreement. They just might wear, you know, lands and sweater vests and just make it a little more palatable. But they are fully on board with erasing the struggles and the racism of every single policy decision that has ever been made in this nation. And it's not just about white supremacy. It's also a specific anti-Blackness, as Bell Hooks has always explained to us, that has been intrinsic in every single practice and policy in this nation. If you try and erase that, you are not giving anyone the accurate picture of this United States, not just Black people, all people in this country.
And I think you were perhaps referring to the sweater vest of Glenn Youngkin, who essentially has gotten a huge bly from the media and teased as some sort of modern. No, he's not. You know, he literally ran on saying your precious child who is white will never have to read a book by a Black person under my watch, and that makes him a moderate? No. I want to go through just some of the book banning. Duval County, Florida, which has lots of Black folks there. They've banned 176 books that have been removed from school. Thank You, Jackie Robinson, a story about friendship, banned. A book about Roberto Clemente, a baseball player, renowned humanitarian, banned. The Life of Rosa Parks, a storm called Katrina, and a book called Dumpling Soup. These are just some of the books that have been banned.
Look at the Rosa
It
Parks.
is very hard to get around the fact that the only books that are deemed controversial by the right, by people like DeSantis, the Chris Rufos of the world, the Youngkins of the world, are books about Black people, books about gay people, books about the Holocaust. Do you see where I'm going? They've never said a book about any European is controversial or will make someone upset. There have been European wars. Shakespeare's got death, demons in the Othello story. None of that to them is controversial. Only things that are about Black people, Jewish people, and gay people. Hard to see that as a coincidence, but mostly Black people.
It's absolutely not a coincidence, Joy. And, I've said this quote on your show several times before is my favorite president, LBJ, always said, if you can convince the poorest white man that he's better than the Negro, then you can pick his pockets all day long. And here we are. A book like Rosa Parks, what Ron DeSantis and Youngkin and Abbott are so afraid of is that, As an educator, we have talked a lot about education and the importance in our families. Both of us have roots in Florida. A good educator sparks a light inside of a child. We plant seeds. They might develop while we have them. They might develop months or years later. If you learn about Rosa Parks in 3rd grade, there might be something years later where it's like, let me find out a little bit more about her. And you find out that she's not just some meek little lady who didn't give up her seat at the back of the bus. You find out that she's a rape investigator, that she actually went hard in the paint in deep parts of the Deep South by herself as a brave Black woman to actually investigate rapes of other Black women. You find out that Hank Aaron was a humanitarian, not just a baseball player, that he actually transcended, not just this racial aspect of the baseball game, but he actually fought for racial and equal justice along class lines. I mean, he was just so much more than, Mr. Hank Aaron, number, was he 45, I think he was? We find out so much more about Jackie Robinson, his critiques of capitalism, and how he was a Republican, but sparked a much larger debate within the Black community about, is Black capitalism really something that, we want? How do we detangle these issues? All these books that are being banned are seeds that are planted in children's minds. And we're seeing that, Governor DeSantis wants to keep the state of Florida, the children in the state of Florida, as ignorant as possible so that they and their parents can keep voting for policies that actually work against them in the long run and the short run.
And what I would love for, white parents who are tempted by these bans and thinking these are good for your kids, to just interrogate for yourself. Why is it that you only are uncomfortable with books about Black people, Jewish people, and LGBT? You just interrogate that for yourself. That's what critical thinking is. It isn't dangerous. Critical thinking is good for you. Just interrogate and think about it for yourself. You don't think of yourself as racist or a bad person, but you're uncomfortable, but you're only uncomfortable with books about Black historical figures, the Holocaust, and LGBT. Just ask yourself that question. I'm just asking you to ask yourself that question for Black History Month, if you still think that that's legal to do. Christina Greer, thank you.
Pretty much. That's what I'm saying, man. Y'all hear what she said? I don't think y'all hear what she said. She said LBJ said if you can convince the poor white man that he is better than a Negro, you can pick his pockets all day.
Black ranchers in Colorado have been treated unfairly.
Y'all just don't understand, though. Well, we gotta holler at the boy. We gotta see what Rashad.
Snap your W2.
We got to. Once a show, we gotta see what Shad talking about, man. Let's go see what my dog Shad talking about, man.
Is going to reopen cases of police killing people. Let's put a picture up. Full mass. This DA, according to a press release issued by her office, DA Pamela Price from the Alameda County DA's office, says that police officers and sheriff's deputies who killed 8 individuals while on duty in past incidents could face murder charges, including manslaughter and other criminal charges.
Let's go.
Won't he do it? The cases will be investigated by the new Public Accountability Unit within the DA's office. The cases include 2 controversial Oakland police killings that happened in 2007 and 2008. Before I give you the rest of the background, let me just remind everyone, this is what happens when you elect the right leader.
Right.
This is what happens when you put somebody in who's fearless. This is what happens.
Thank you, Shad.
When you elect someone who's willing to hold their campaign promises as sacred. She said she was going to do this if the good people of that county put her in office. That's exactly what she's doing. On December 31st, 2007.
Y'all still don't believe though, man.
Andrew Wani Maupin Buckskin fled a traffic stop, fled on foot near 46th Avenue and International Boulevard in East Oakland. An Oakland police sergeant spotted the young man hiding between a car and a building. Two rookie officers, Hector Jimenez and Jessica Barrello, arrived and commanded Maupin Buckskin to surrender. 12 seconds later, they shot and killed him. They later told investigators they could not see his hands. He was unarmed. They admitted they could not see his hands. They still shot and killed him. Put up the former DA. Yeah.
Ugly motherfucker.
Former DA, Thomas Orloff.
Bob Burger head ass.
His office reviewed the case, which was investigated by the homicide unit, and declined to press charges against the cops. However, the DA's review took 6 years to complete. 6 years to complete. Officer Jimenez returned to work a few days after the shooting. And on July 25th, 2008, he and his partner, Joel Allworth, were trying to stop a car that was speeding and swerving in Fruitvale Avenue at 3:40 in the morning. The car suddenly stopped, and 27-year-old Mac Jody Wood Fox got out and began to run away from the officers. Jimenez, same cop as before, did what? Shot twice. Jimenez shoots twice and shoots Wood Fox in the back and once in the arm. Once again, unarmed.
This nigga just got bodies out here.
Then the DA, the same damn DA, Orloff, his team, well, what did they do? They also declined to press charges against this officer for the killing of that unarmed man. But OPD's internal affairs investigators found that the officer did, in fact, this time violate department rules when he used deadly force. The DA's report on the Wood Fox shooting was also delayed for 6 years.
Oh my God.
Put the black woman back up again.
6 years.
Okay. Madam, I applaud your leadership, your courage, your fight. Whatever we can do for you, please let us know. All right, AB, thoughts here.
Yeah, on this beautiful first day of Black History Month, I just love to see a Black woman getting the job done. Like, I'm glad that we're gonna see justice, and I'm glad that, this is proof that representation matters, right? This is proof that diversity matters, and not just in color, but in integrity and in thought, and just in excellence. And so, I'm happy to see that people will be held accountable, and I hope this begins to set precedent and set a standard for how police officers should be dealt with when they involve themselves in this type of criminal activity.
There you go. All right, we will continue to update that story. Obviously, I do believe charges are coming.
At Domino's, we took all the best things about pizza.
A new
Charges is coming. Charges is coming. Oh, we did the Grammys and all that stuff last week. So, on to the main event. This y'all is hilarious, man. This is like I said, I'm gonna have fun with this tonight. I don't care if it's just me, man. I'm finna have fun with this tonight. This shit is funny to me, man. Ha ha! Splash. Oh man. Oh, that's hilarious, man. Yo. He threw that water so fast, man. You ain't even see it. You ain't even see it. I know she just looked back and was like, damn, why am I so motherfucking wet? Oh, this shit happened so fast, dog. Hey, listen, man. I don't care who you is, man. How cute you is, how fine you might be. You know, real niggas and real women, everybody don't like to be touched. You know, women and men. Like, let's just be honest, man. People don't like to be just touched out the blue. Keep your fucking hands to yourself. Keep your shit outside my bubble. You know what I'm saying? Literally. You feel me? Like, don't come in my space. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's, you know, that's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? If it's your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband or wife or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You know, a little smack on the ass, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. This woman don't know this man from a can of paint. He in the middle of a crowd of people. Let's not forget. He probably literally thinks that it's all niggas around him, even behind him. So when he felt that shit, I already know where his mind went immediately. Like, what niggas just grabbed my ass? I'm finna turn around and sock the shit out of him. But because I believe that because it was just in that fast, that quick split of a second, that he realized it was a female, he just tossed the little water on her. Like, man, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Stop playing with a real nigga like that. Like, that shit, I don't know, man. That shit just funny as hell. Like, that shit was hilarious. Evidently, I think he was doing some kind of performance somewhere. And what I got from it at the end, or what I got from the rest of this, is that she was trying to get a picture with him. That's all she wanted, was a picture. So I don't know, man. You know, you just don't do shit like that to people. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna play this clip right here for y'all.
Hey, man.
Because we moving on. I'm just moving on to the topic, because that's moving on to the end. We gonna close this shit out, man, for the night. But that's just some funny shit to me. You know, when he threw that drink, that shit was so fucking funny to me. But at least we got some good news out of tonight, man. Little cops is being prosecuted.
What up, everyone? It's the Nation Up.
Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, with Cardi.
Yeah, but you knew right off the bat. But here's the thing: you didn't throw in no. You notice how he threw in what she said that started the beef.
So, if y'all not familiar with Whack 100, he always goes on Clubhouse and talks to a whole bunch of people about stuff. To me, y'all can listen to it. I don't sit there and listen to a lot of it. But it's just funny how he just, you know, he inserts himself and stuff. But I mean, they've been going at it for a while on their own little personal thing, so of course he's gonna insert himself in this. But if you tell me, you just tell me if I'm not tripping or not. When y'all listen to this, and just for what's the name, I might just play audio. I might not even put video up just for copyright sake. But every time I hear Clubhouse, it sounds like it's always a fucking cop on the line. Like, trying to sound cool, trying to sound like, talk like, you know, Like it always sounds like it's some kind of undercover or some kind of fucking cop on the line, man. And that's just me. But y'all check this shit out. Y'all listen to some of this shit, man.
Almost like he trying to restart it. You know? Catch how now you just told us the whole little story with Cardi B. You didn't throw in no details. You just kind of said we was there to make sure.
In his mouth, he's gonna make sure he tests his gangster when he sees him, because Wack said he's not scared to go to jail. Let's listen to Wack 100 as he goes off on Jay Prince.
Just responded. It's gonna go viral. The response gonna go viral. You know, I'm gonna say all kind of stuff.
I know your response is
off the hook.
Hey, Wack, did you catch how now you just told us the whole little story with Cardi B. You didn't throw in no details. You just kind of said we was there to make sure everything is cool.
What I did was somebody said something. I'm like, yeah, what Cardi said.
Yeah, but you knew right off the bat. But here's the thing: you didn't throw in no. You notice how he threw in what she said that started the beef, almost like he trying to restart it. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you what she did. I'm gonna make y'all remember. She put up a picture with like a blue dress or a blue fur or something, and she was like, "That's hard, but I don't wear flu," which is a disrespect to blue.
Exactly.
Big disrespect.
Right? That's where it was, right? So everybody was, leaving comments at the time. She managed by QC, by P. P got management, right? So, they like, yeah, Wack, that label just want us to kind of like, I'm like, man, that come out, right? I said, I'm gonna call Big U. We're gonna clear it on that side. Me and Big U running tough at the time, right? I'm gonna clear it on that side. We're gonna put the homies on you on this side, right? Our first event was like right on Roberson. Never forget, Roberson. It's a little club downstairs from Penthouse. Wacko, all the West Side Power Rules, all my homies, bunch of blood. We out there heavies them up, right? So I don't know what the nigga, you ain't got no say so out here.
Yeah.
Like this nigga right here is weird. Like he be acting like and now, and I'm glad people seeing it. The first they wanted to put it on me. Why did you expose to the world that Offset had an issue with you about this man getting killed up under y'all supervision? If you heard in the street, Offset got an issue with you, nigga, why is you broadcasting it to the world, nigga? That's a PC move. Right. Man, his number. If a nigga, yo, Wack, what's up? Yo, man, a nigga, whoop-de-whoop, Lil D, talking about his own when y'all see each other. I'll come on Clubhouse. Yeah, Lil D, you tell a nigga this own when I see. Come on.
Dry snitching.
I want the police to be up on it. Come on, come on. And it was crazy. All y'all niggas from Houston, I don't know why. I don't know what this nigga did. But man, y'all know it don't go like that, bro. That don't go like that, bro. You ain't supposed to be doing all that. Oh, shut the fuck up. He dry snitching.
It's like dude said in the chat, basically saying, hold me back on the internet.
About him and Quavo. We still trying to figure out if you lined off motherfucking takeoff. You give a fuck about him and Quavo. You worried about him and Quavo, dang fuck.
Right, that ain't got nothing to do with him.
I'm gonna run into him though. I'm gonna see what his gangster like. I'm gonna see if he's scared to go to jail. I'm not. I ain't tripping. I'm gonna see really where you at with it. I just sit there. If this is not 1990, motherfucking ghetto boy. If you wanna go to war, I'll take you to war. You ain't been to war yet. You ain't even been to a substation. All this big old gangster. I ain't never seen a nigga 57 ain't did a day in jail. Get the fuck out of here, my nigga. Out of here, my nigga.
That's wild.
That's real. This nigga talk all this high power ass shit. Like you ain't did shit. Out of here. Overrated, bro. Why is you what? Do you remember when you had to call me? Why are you telling the world that you and this man got a problem? Why? For what reason? Just handle the business. I got a problem with all kind of. We ain't finna be letting nobody know. We gonna get to it. Just in case you catch me, I catch you. We don't need to get nobody no motherfucking leads. You just heard the feds call me about what they thought they heard on the internet and whoever talking on your side. And you want to come on the motherfucking internet and broadcast we got a problem. Me and Offset got a problem. It's crazy. Dry snitching ass nigga. Every nigga know that's dry snitching. Every nigga know that's dry snitching.
That's for sure, dry snitch.
Nation, what do you think about Whack 100's comments?
Man.
What do you think of?
I'm telling you, and that's kind of like, that's why I said last week, like I'm kind of getting tired of Jay Prince and my homeboy, man. Shout out to my homeboy, Chill, man. Alter Image Customs, man. Y'all go get y'all some custom. He do custom everything, man. Custom cleats, custom all that shit. Shoes, wands, whatever shoe you want, man. And he do custom accessories, and he also got a lot of shit, man. Y'all check him out. It's Alter Image Customs. But shout out to him, man. We was just talking, man, and we was saying, like, honestly, it's coming out. Shit is coming out now because, like, in the South, Jay Prince, you know, you let a myth live for so long without testing it, it become true. And so Jay Prince got a lot of people behind him, a lot of people underneath him that are underneath that spell. He's a good talker. It's almost like a preacher. You know what I'm saying? Sad to say, like almost like some preachers where they savvy at the tongue and it's all about mind games. Everything is about, they just manipulation. So, and I've watched that throughout the years with Jay Prince. He's manipulated himself as this big Don. You know what I'm saying? This big Don, and people always better watch out for Jay Prince and all that. But people really know, like in the streets, it ain't really about that. Because every situation that he get in, he put somebody on. He put the police on somebody or put somebody in jail, and that's documented. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go check that out. Look up Big Mike's story on YouTube, man. And I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this whole situation. Rest in peace to Takeoff. And it's sad that after all this shit, we really basically find out that he got killed by somebody in his own camp because of a fucking misfire. A big nigga trying to be tough. And it makes no sense. Like, it's corny as fuck. You know what I mean? It was unnecessary. If you don't know how to handle a weapon, you shouldn't need one. You shouldn't have one. But that's just the story of the temperature right now. It's the temperature of the community, of the climate, everywhere. Too many motherfucking young kids, too many people with guns that don't know how to use them, too many people with guns using them to take their anger out on people, just like at the top of the story, you know what I'm saying? At the top of the show, we had, the MSU shooting. That shit is bullshit. Like, too many people running wild like that, man. Like I said, it all go back to mental health, man. These motherfuckers is unstable. Half these niggas, watch who you fucking hanging with. Half these niggas is crack babies, man. Let's not forget. If a nigga do some weird shit or got some weird shit, man, like show you weird ass signs, man, fucking believe that shit. Like, take that shit to heart. Believe that shit. And go with your gut. Don't fuck with them people, man. Don't fuck with them motherfuckers. Leave them alone. Anyway, man, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. Y'all, thanks for chilling with me, man. On the show tonight, like I said, episode 51. Y'all look out for a couple things, man. Gallimaufry is out right now. I'm gonna put the link in the bio. Y'all know that's on Bandcamp. Look out for The Critic coming soon by Tony Spitz. Goody Two Shoes is in a movie coming up. I think it's called She Moves or something like that, or she something. We're gonna get the full info on it. But I gotta shout my folks out, man, when they ain't here, man. Hope everybody being safe, man. Hope everybody cool. And like we always say, man, tell somebody you love them. Don't forget, in my own lane, man, it'll be coming soon. I am going to give you the release date next week for my last single off that project, which is called The Drain. But y'all had if y'all go back, y'all heard a little snippet of it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard a sneak preview of it a couple episodes ago. But hey, like I said, like we always say, man, tell somebody you love them, give somebody a hug, man. Call your folks up, man. Let them know you're thinking about them, and it ain't too late to get that Valentine's in, man. All right, y'all, peace.